the end of the podcast, we're gonna put up that text thread.
That'll bode well for me.
What'd you think about that alpha dong? It was a little disappointing for me.
I thought they reduced the dong. They nerfed the dong in this movie.
They definitely nerfed the dong. Dick not as big as we thought. That's what I wrote down. Has your woman been taking you or other men for a ride? If so, go to millerlawpa.com for your first consultation. So I went to see this at 10:30 in the morning. Get on the subway, get over there. Super excited about it. We've been talking about all of these movies, seen them all. And then you kind of like quickly transports you into, oh yeah, you're in a zombie world. Like the first thing they do is play the zombie horde noises. There's nothing on the screen. It's just black. And it's the zombie horde's chasing you. And you're like, oh shit, you got to lock in. You're not about to just be chilling for the next hour and a half. There must be almost no time passing between the first movie 28 years later and the Bone Temple, because the last thing we saw was Spike, the previous main character, get saved by these dental bitches in jumpsuits. And now he's in a fight to the death.
Yeah, they immediately throw him into their weird ritual. If you're joining their cult, you're gonna fight someone to the death to take their spot.
Did you think that they were actually going to fight to the death? Bowden, I wrote down like they're hazing him. I thought they were just going to like scare him.
I thought straight from the rip that Overlord Jimmy was definitely very serious. Kid was gonna win, but I thought he was 100%. It was serious.
How do they find this pool where he can sit on the throne and watch the fight? Because they're just going from town to town, killing everyone. That's not their lair or their home base.
Yeah, I guess they're just in Scotland, just bouncing around different villages, just ransacking and flaying people's skin.
It hit an artery and then he just bleeds out. He's just like begging for his friends to save him, and Jimmy's just laughing at him like, nah.
The kid stabs him in the leg and he's just like, ow, that hurts, you little shit. He pulls the knife out and just gushing blood bleeds out in 45 seconds.
I forgot that they were like going around in the name of Satan, killing all these people. And he's calling out to Jesus to save him. And the leader, Jimmy's like, Jimmy Crystal, why are you calling on those shite cunts for?
Yeah, they're all his disciples, his fingers. I didn't realize at first that it was a devil thing.
Dude, Saint Nick, when you hear that, does that make you think of the devil?
To be honest, no. And then I kind of realized like halfway through, I was like, oh, wait, that is a term for the devil.
Yeah, like I don't know. That wasn't clicking with me. It did for
not
some
click
reason
with me. And then I felt like a moron.
This dude thinks that the devil is talking to him and really believes that the zombie horde was part of the apocalypse, which I guess if you live through that, it doesn't seem like too far of a jump to make.
I definitely thought that he was playing into being a cult leader and didn't really believe in it, but for sure thought that he was the son of the devil.
And as the guy's dying, Jimmy Crystal walks up to him. He's like, "What are you getting? Getting hungry? Getting horny?
Horny?"
Nope. And he passes out, and they just leave his dead body bleeding all over the pool. On to the next town.
What do you guys think of this guy as being a villain? He was the Irish vampire in Sinners.
Oh, he was. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's
the original the original white guy that plays the banjo or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I did not know that.
Right?
Wow. I did not know that either.
I wish I had known that going in.
Remmit.
But
I didn't know it right away, but I was like, his accent sounds too familiar.
Did they show Aaron Taylor Johnson once? Did they show the dad once in this movie? Spike's dad?
I don't think so.
Right after that fight to the death, there's a guy hunting, and I actually thought it was the dad for a second, but it's just some bozo. And then we find out that it's not the zombies' fault. This whole time, they've been killing babies and attacking people because they thought the people were the zombies.
Yeah, they're in psychosis.
Yeah, what if we get the zombies' perspective, and I don't know if it's the alpha or not, he kills someone. And as he's looking at him,
I think it is the alpha.
They show the face of the human.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The alpha or just the zombies in general see other people as demons, which is ironic. And that leads into the end where they're, prescribing pills for psychosis, which that being the fix kind of was like, took this long for that to be like maybe let's try this out. let's give these psychosis pills and that's gonna cause the zombie to
Yeah,
switch
in the
back
medicine
to.
cabinet, we could have just cured everyone this whole time. Dr. Ian Kelson, Voldemort, I feel like he was a little smaller in this movie, but he finds the pregnant zombie from the last time. Him and the alpha are getting along. I thought he was going to be like, "Oh, you taking my baby mama?" How we got beef again.
I thought about that as well. Why do you think they included him taking the dead pregnant zombie? It was just a clip of him taking her. They didn't really expand on that.
I guess they just wanted to keep showing that he's still trying to honor the dead and going around and finding these people, and he doesn't know that's the baby's mother that they saved.
Yeah, I guess they do show him with her bones in that vat. So they do show him adding her to the temple as a
And
sign of respect.
then we see the alpha kill someone, and of course he eats the brains. The little zombies are over there off to the side, eating the body, or the alpha's got the head, rips off the scalp, and just eating the guy's brains.
Yeah, they jump straight into the gore. It definitely has horror themes and a couple jump scares, but it definitely is more telling a story, in my opinion, than a horror movie.
What'd you think about that alpha dong? It was a little disappointing for me.
I thought they reduced the dong. They nerfed the dong in this movie.
They definitely nerfed the dong. Dick not as big as we thought. That's what I wrote down.
You think they just took a bunch of feedback from the first one? People just kept focusing on the dong and not the movie, and they're like, all right, we gotta shrink the dong here.
I don't know. I thought it added to it. But also one time he squats down at the end when he picks up the doctor, and my eyes went right to his groin.
There was no dong. There was no
Yeah.
dong there.
Yeah, they
I
had
was
like
waiting to
taped
see
it up
just
or something. We get this shot of him walking up to Ian Kelson, and he's morphining him, and we're getting more of his perspective. He's calm in this state, and they're showing more of like the rage and anxiety that they feel all the other time. Living in rage, like these zombies, must be awful. Every second is just the most torture possible.
Yeah, I think they literally said that the morphine takes away from the pain of being affected by the virus. So he's just not in a state of euphoria, but at least, and he's just staring at the sky and staring at the moon. And when it kind of starts to wear off and he leaves the doctor, he's kind of wandering through the woods and they're kind of staring at the trees and the woods and just moments of staring at nature. Serenity, yeah.
Do we ever get a confirmation on how old Samson is supposed to be?
Just listening to his voice when he comes back later, I would just guess that he's 30.
I would say
But
probably mid-30s.
So
They
I'm
never
like,
really say.
so 8 years ago, he was probably 2. He's got to be a little older if he remembers being like, "Oh, here's my ticket," or whatever he says at the end.
Yeah, they did have the stills or those shots of him on the train, which the same train in the film, but he's a little kid. He looks like he's probably maybe like 6 or 7.
But they also flashed to him like as a 20-year-old, right? You remember how one time it changed to him being older? And
Yeah,
I
it
couldn't
does cut
tell. I couldn't
to
tell
him
which
being a
one
little
was
bit
like
older.
before the outbreak. That was confusing.
Yeah, that
I
part
wasn't
threw
sure
me
on that
off
either.
with the timeline. How old is this motherfucker supposed to be?
He's still got the arrows in him from the last movie, from Spike, and Voldemort is pulling him out, and he drops a cool myth on us. Androcles and the lion. You remember Androcles and the lion, Sam?
That's the one where his paw has a splinter and then he pulls it out and he gets saved later on because it's the same line.
Yeah, so that doesn't really happen in this movie, but the runaway slave who pulled the thorn out of the lion gets put into a gladiator battle with the lion, and the lion recognizes him, spares his life.
Was fully expecting Samson to save him at the end or something. I feel like that's what they were kind of leading up to. I don't think that like took away from the ending or anything like that.
Nature would flourish in this environment, but damn, this is a beautiful place to live. This guy lives
Yeah.
by the most incredible stream of all time, incredible field, and he's got running water. Man
On
had
a
a
hill.
hose.
He's on a hill. He's got a generator. He's got gas. He's living in a little bunker. He's got a turntable. He's listening to records at the end of the day.
Lot of light in that bunker. A lot of lights.
Yeah, so what does he get power from the stream or something? I'm like,
I didn't think about the record, how he was powering the record player, but
yeah, I'm not sure on
we see pics of his wife and his family in there. I'm not sure if we saw that before.
Definitely didn't see before his, habitation, his home. That was the first we've seen of his living quarters.
We've already spoiled that him and Samson become chill, but just sitting next to him, and he lays down. Samson responds to a wave or something, which gives him some confidence that, okay, there's something in there. Maybe we're making some progress here. This is my homie. But he lays down and takes a nap next to with the morphine wearing off. And he wakes up and Samson's gone and he touches his body and he's like, all right, I'm still intact.
Himself, he dabs the top of the dart with his finger and like puts it in his mouth, and then he just conks out.
I didn't see that. But honestly,
Yeah.
how else was he supposed to calm down enough to go to sleep next to a zombie?
Yeah, I think he had hunches of there's got to be something else in there, and if not, then what am I doing? So he's like, I'm gonna take some morphine too, and if I wake up okay, then that's a sign that there might be something here.
You know, there's a meme where it's Dave Chappelle holding a magazine that says "White People News," and he's kind of looking at it confused.
Yeah.
That felt like, of course, this guy would take a nap next to the fucking zombie. Today in White People News, it's like, what are you doing? Yeah, it's like they're scared to get on the subway late at night, but oh, let me pet this bear, or let me take a nap next to the zombie.
So he's starting to explain his theory on the virus, and he says infection lies over your mind, but it's not replacing it. And he asks, do you have memories in this state, which foreshadows the train car later when the Alpha remembers being asked for the ticket. But Ordinary World by Duran plays after he wakes up and he's celebrating being chill with the zombie. That was a pretty cool song.
What do you think about the directing in general in this? Like this,
Super into how they've changed this franchise up. People have been watching zombies chase people for 20 years on The Walking Dead and all these other shows. And they start with the horde sounds at the beginning. We see some random people get eaten by zombies, but I like how it's evolving into a different thing, which can be risky as a director. You could just go back to the well and have a pretty good movie, but I like how they're trying different things with this. And we see this dumbass get killed and get abandoned. And that's when we see all the Jimmys take over this house. This scene is hilarious. I'm going to miss Jimmy Crystal leading his little band around. Every time he says something, he's like, how's that? How's that? The how's that response
How's that?
was killing me. And how about the guy? They're in this house, and finally it gets to the point where he's like, "Are we not welcome here?" And pregnant girl, the only one with some balls, is like, "You fucking know you're not welcome." The big dude totally fumbles the bag. He's the first one to attack. He misses everyone at the table with a huge pot of boiling water.
Yeah, it just lands in the middle of the table. Dump that on the leader or throw it on someone.
Jimmy Crystal's sitting right next to him, and he throws the water over his head. And then you've got a huge pot in your hand. Hit him with the pot.
Yeah. And then once the pregnant girl escapes and then comes back, and she just watches her family get their skin flayed off, and then I guess it was maybe her husband, she decides to save his life, but she just sat there watching the whole time.
Yeah, so Jimmy Crystal is demented. He ties these people up, literally cuts off all of their skin, flays them, and she's up in the attic hiding and just has to watch the entire thing and not make any noises. And the sun goes down. They're torturing him for hours. And then we get Jemima, crazy ass girl, is an awesome character.
She's
and
nuts.
of course, the buff guy picks her to fight, and it's like picking Harley Quinn to fight. That's basically what her character was, Harley Quinn. I was so confused once she like gets on top of him and starts bleeding out of her nose. I had no idea what she had been hit with.
I mean, I feel like they're kind of leading it up to being the pregnant lady that was watching everything, maybe jumping in. You're staring at her, and she starts like talking nonsense. I guess because she has a hook stuck in her skull.
Hook stuck in the back of her head.
But
yeah, so another fight to join the Seven Fingers. Dude, that guy would not be able to feel his arms after being tied up like this for 6 hours.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
But now the whole movie hinges on this, actually. He sends Spike to chase the pregnant lady, and Spike has the arrow drawn, and he's like, take me with you. I don't want to be with these people. And she doesn't know him. Like, she doesn't know that he's a good lad who is captured. And she knees him in the gut and leaves. If she had taken him with him, if Spike had gone with her, he's not there when they meet Dr. Kelson, and Kelson lets him go on and run amok through Scotland.
Continue to pursue with Satan's mission.
This group is so chill when zombies come up. Like they've killed so many, they don't even get stressed out. Just
Yeah.
unswipe.
Just
And
about to say that. It's super badass how they just handle themselves, to be honest. Like zombies run at them, they just kind of walk up, don't even blink, and just
they do
pull
the
out
shit.
a Assassin's Creed dash, slash the
Yeah.
neck, roll out the way, and just continue to walk on their way like nothing happened.
I
But
always feel like some Power Rangers music should start playing when they're kicking ass. That's what they feel like.
they're flaying these people with these knives. And I'm like, they're not disinfecting these knives after they're killing these zombies.
I didn't think about that.
How many germs are on these knives? And at one point, somebody puts a knife in someone's mouth. And I was just like, dude, how much zombie guts are in your mouth right now?
Because at the beginning of the movie, when that the three people that are like from the village out, scavenging, the one guy that gets infected, he gets infected because he gets blood in his mouth, right? And he immediately turns.
Blood falls in your eye, falls in anything, you're infected immediately.
You would think they would maybe have some face coverings or something.
So that's how sick they are. Before they go and meet Kelson, we get the scene of Samson staring at the moon, and Kelson can tell how horrible his life is when he's not on the morphine, and he's about to put him to bed. Like he's about to give him a
The
fatal
lethal
dose.
injection.
Yeah. And he says, Moon.
And then it cuts to the scene of him as a kid when he's on the train.
Reading a
and
book about the
he's
moon.
reading the book about the moon.
Thank God for that book about the moon.
I know. Saved Samson.
Let's see. Looking back now, he really was hearing these voices in his head. They're asking if they should allow the guy to join the Seven Fingers and fight. He's like, I can feel old Nick's lips on my ear. He's whispering to fight.
Yeah, in the moment, he's just like totally just making that shit up. Like, yep, Nick says that we have to murder you or murder this person in the most brutal way possible. So you need to do that for me now, right?
The boy's pain is old Nick's delight. And the crazy girl, Jemima or whatever, she's like, I want to take his trousers off. Old Nick says, perfect.
I wonder how long, some of these people have been following him. Cause I mean, like they're all fully in 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, the one girl at the end that kind of takes Spike's side, but I mean, she still fully believes, like full Satanist, fully believes that, Ian, the doctor, is Satan himself.
She was definitely the least indoctrinated, and Spike winning that fight in the beginning was a huge sway for Jimmy Crystal. He lost this guy who was fully indoctrinated and was best friends with the dude in the white. Remember when the white guy gets pissed at Spike and almost kills him in the woods, and he's like, you killed my best friend or whatever?
Yeah.
How about the guy runs and grabs the homemade flamethrower?
What did I couldn't tell what he lit it on. Like he turned on the gas and then puts it to the side.
They had created a weapon of some sort. It wasn't just a propane tank. They had jimmied that up somehow.
And he just set that dude on fire. The barn caused a shit ton of chaos.
Burns it down, burns a couple of, I think the crazy girl got burned alive. 2 of the family members hang and burned. They burned in spot. That sucks.
I couldn't tell if they were already dead or they were just like maybe in such pain they were unconscious. But
they show a facial remark. I think when the hook hits the girl in the back of the head, I think the dark skinned girl that was hanging, I think she smiles a little bit. But yeah, the mixed girl, Erin Kellyman, she's playing Jimmy Inc. And she's seen the devil, she thinks, communing with one of his demons. So she happens to see Dr. Kelson talking to Samson. Imagine you're a Satanist and you walk up to a bone temple and this crazy looking dude is talking to an alpha zombie.
He also stands him up. I mean, I think he starts dancing with him. I guess if you're a Satanist and you've already believed in all that stuff and you see that a regular human basically commanding an alpha, you're like, holy shit,
what the hell is going on?
It honestly feels a little bit of slapstick like humor to a point, because every time someone happens to see Kelson from a distance, he's doing what appears to be the most fucked up thing you could imagine. Like he's getting a bad rap.
I mean, in a weird way, he's the most sane person in the 2 movies.
Yeah.
Going back to Samson and the train, do we think that he he got turned when he was on the train. Like that's where that outbreak happened for him. Because I like the idea of that happening, and that's when he kind of like comes back to being human again, is on the train, and all the zombies ended up attacking him. I like the idea of him turning on the train to a zombie and then kind of flipping back to being somewhat human in the same place.
Hold on, we'll keep it in chronological order and we will go from there. Cut the train part to the end. So Jimmy Crystal, he's running an elaborate scheme here. He does believe that Satan is talking to him in his head, but he's also trying to keep all these people in line. And he's freaking out when he sees Dr. Kelson through the binoculars. And go ahead.
I think he starts freaking out once one of the Jimmies, the chick, says like, "I saw Saint Nick." He starts freaking out then. He's like,
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to go talk to him.
I think when she said communing with one of his demons, that's like, it's fine for a movie, but that's when you follow up and get a little more information, like, what do you mean by that? But
Well, she says
yeah,
in an alpha nonetheless, something like that.
but that scene where him and Kelson talk to each other, one of my favorite scenes of the movie. He's like, I thought I was about to meet my fucking father.
It was a pleasant conversation given how fucked up Jimmy Crystal is. And he says to Ian, he's like, this has been a really pleasant conversation, and I don't have pleasant conversations, something along those lines.
Well, I
And
always think of those movies like I Am Legend, where he starts crying while he's like, please talk to me, talking to the mannequin. So these are starved for just some sort of contact. He basically became best friends with Sanson, and all Sanson does is grunt. He probably loves talking to this psycho.
Up until
well,
the point where he told him that he was going to feed him his own intestines if he doesn't cooperate.
Well, he also realizes that he's talking to an insane person, because that opening scene where he's like, my dad was leading the horde of zombies. He's a pastor and he was leading the zombies.
And by your father, you mean, and he's like, Satan. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my dad.
of course.
It's like,
I
right,
guess
okay, I see what's happening here.
I do like how, from his little boy perspective, he's like, yeah, I see my dad. He gets basically eaten by zombies and then turns into one. So now he's all covered in red from the blood, and then he runs out of the church and they all follow him. Yeah, from his perspective, a bunch of fucking demons showed up. My dad turned red and he led them.
Also, I
So,
don't remember what he said, but his dad said some crazy shit and was just like, take me, father. He really sold it
yeah.
on who knows what his dad told told him before that. He was probably an extremist interpreter of the Lord's word.
Dude, there's some religious people that cannot wait for Revelation and Judgment Day to come because they're like, yes, now all the bad people go to hell and all the good people go to heaven. It's finally here. So it's not uncommon for there to be priests and stuff like that who are like, yes, I'm so excited for the end times.
Yeah.
Bring on the apocalypse.
So go ahead.
I didn't really understand why he for sure thought his dad was Satan when his dad was the pastor of the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't really,
Because he led the horde of zombies, I guess. And he hears voices in his head. He's had some psychotic breakdown. At some point between him hiding in the church, he's like, my mom and sister didn't make it because they didn't hide. He goes from, I'm hiding from the zombies, which my dad is leading, to now that is a good question. Like, I
Well,
don't really know how
what
to
it,
explain that.
it also does kind of make sense in a way why he would be like a Satan worshiper. Because in his mind, all of the good people went to heaven. Anyone who's left around is not a good person. So he's going to worship the devil. Now, I did like how Kelson, as soon as he mentioned that he hears voices in his head, you could tell he kind of cocks his head a little bit and he's like, oh, you're crazy, aren't you?
Well, he's a doctor.
Yeah, exactly. He's not like just someone, like he knows probably exactly what medical diagnosis this guy has, like schizophrenia, paranoia, whatever.
Imagine
But
you travel around and all you want to do is be badass zombie murderer, and you walk up and see all these bones. Like, it looks like this guy's got 10 million kills. He's like, this is fucking rad or something like that when he's looking at the bones.
well, before Jimmy goes and talks to him, he's like, oh, he's got these temples all over and this must be a new one. They're like, I don't know, man, it looks pretty old to us. Like, it's been here a long time.
hey, random thought, but how long do you think it took him to finally get that right? Because I'm imagining like a scene playing out, like a compilation of him like trying to stack them and then fucking up and being like, God damn it. And then maybe starting again tomorrow.
To
Have
get
you
what
guys ever,
right?
After you get the first or second one down, I feel like you get a method, and then it just kind of.
what do you think? What do you think his method is? Those things seem pretty, like they endure the elements. What, you
Well,
got glue?
you can see a lot of them. Most of them you can see like rope stringing through and keeping it taut, but some of them there's no rope, so there's some type of adhesive. Yeah.
Dude's a master builder. 28 years,
Yeah.
nothing to do but build.
I tell you what, Spike, if I was Spike, I imagine you'd be trying to climb up that thing like in the other movie to put the skull at the top. A bunch of those skulls would just slip out from under him and he'd eat shit and be like, ow.
Yeah, don't bones like break down pretty quickly? They're gonna
Yeah.
break.
What is he making this shit out of?
How does the? I was gonna ask, how does the interaction with Kelson and Spike end in the first movie? I can't remember what causes them to like separate. Where's their interaction end?
Memento mori, I told the boy.
Doesn't he try to distract Samson for him or something?
The mother passes away, and the boy's just like, I've got to go on my own adventure. I've got to go, find out what's out
Just
there.
goes.
Well,
Yeah.
he takes the baby back. Remember, Alpha's baby is not infected, and he takes the baby and turns it in to the colony. And we didn't see any colony stuff in this movie, which I thought was cool. I'm guessing they're going to bring it back
Other than
in the
the three
next one.
people at the beginning, yeah, that were like scavenging. Yeah, that's all you saw of like any
So
type
do we
of.
know that they came from the ocean colony?
I just assumed that because I mean, in the first movie, there was no indication of any type of other colony that existed.
Well, spoilers. There's some other people existing, but we'll talk about that when we get to
There's what?
There's some people existing, but we'll talk about that when we get to the end.
Yeah, so the dancing I thought was really cool. Everyone dances in the shower more than they dance in public or dances by themselves in their living room. This dude's been alone for 28 years. Who's gonna judge him for dancing? He's just got Duran Duran on. He's jamming all the time. And it's a little homoerotic how he's dancing with Samson, but it's also so innocent because of the setting. And when they start dancing together, that shit was hilarious. But Jimmy Crystal's like, look, we gotta set up this performance. I need you to help me out so we don't have to disembowel you. This scene where he dances and plays Iron Maiden or whatever, that is one of the most badass scenes I've ever seen in a movie. That was awesome.
That woke me up. Whenever that happened, I sat up. I was like, oh.
I recorded it on my phone so I could watch it after the movie was over.
Do you think that he almost got close to overselling him being Satan? I felt like
just
it was a
wondering,
lot.
like, these people, did they think that the sound was coming out of magical powers? They were around when there was music, right?
Yeah.
What were they thinking about the speakers being played?
They must have been kids, because who is it in the movie says I was 2 years old? Jimmy. I think Jimmy says I was 2 when everything changed. When he's
Which
talking
Jimmy?
to Dr. Kelson, Jimmy Crystal.
No,
Or no,
because
no, 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 I'm sorry.
No, we know
Someone
that he
says
was, like,
that they're.
That's a
Someone.
big
I was 2
2-year-old.
years old.
That was one big 2-year-old. If that was
No,
Jimmy.
yeah, you're right. It wasn't him.
He said, "Pride moves inside me like maggots in the corpse of Christ."
He may have been overselling it, but if that seemed cool to us, like if I bought tickets to go see a show tonight and that was in the show, I'd be like, this is great. Like, but to those guys, they didn't even have television for at least 28 years.
Yeah.
Like, or any sort of concert, or it's like that meme of taking a flashlight back in time and showing it to a peasant in 13th century, or like doing a
Also-
drone show over a desolate tribe. Like, they're probably like, he's clearly Satan.
Also, just being in the Palace of Bones, they don't know that this is a sanctuary place. This is like, I have a million kills. All I do is kill people. That would be so scary to be inside.
You walk in there and you're probably thinking, damn, what does an army live here? And it's like, no, one
Yeah.
guy. It's like, one guy. What is he, the devil?
And also, he could just summon all the alpha zombies, that he
What
was
does he
communing with.
refer to the temple as? He calls it a specific term.
Ossuary.
Ossuary?
Ossuary.
There's a bit of like Tropic Thunder to this, where one scene in Tropic Thunder where they're trying to oversell how they're soldiers and they're all shooting. And then the guys in the woods are like,
Yeah.
they do not fear death. It's probably just like, oh my God, he sleeps next to alphas.
Yeah.
He's surrounded by bones.
And The picture that you see in all the advertisements of him doing like this, that Sam's got right
It,
behind him, that's a
dude, if
terrifying thing.
I
The
rolled
the
up,
flames appear around them in a circle, like, I don't know, nuts.
dude, if I saw this motherfucker under the bridge downtown, I'd be like, that might be the devil.
And even Jimmy Crystal was like, "Holy shit, this guy is going crazy. I know what's happening, and this is nuts."
He starts, "Do you have any demands for us? What are your requests for us?" And obviously he's planted these 3 ideas in his head, and then he sees Spike, and he's like, I have one more request." And he's like, "You sure you do?"
So we knew after the last movie that Dr. Kelson instills all of this appreciation for the lives of these people that have died in Spike. And now Spike's going on his own mission and he interacts with these people who don't care at all. So we knew that they were going to meet and there was going to be some clash of these values. I wasn't sure at the end of the first movie if Spike wasn't going to have a little change of heart or not. Like he was going to kind of fall in line with them. Obviously, he didn't. But Jimmy Crystal, he could have been fine. He just sells it too much. He just gets into so much detail about defiling their bodies and making their screams echo into the skies. And Dr. Kelson's like, my work's already done. I don't have anything to live for. I'm gonna be the tool to unleash all of this hell across the country. Even if he didn't, Spike put him over the edge, but he was close already to, I can't let this happen.
Yeah, I mean, he was fully in on just letting this guy have what he wants until he started talking about how brutally they're gonna fuck people up, and you can just see the doctor be like, "I don't know if I can
You ought
continue
to
with
grow
this."
the number of your fingers into 2 fists and more fists. No community in Hell's kingdom can be guarded against our charity. I love how they refer to murder as charity. What do you think they're thinking when he walks over to Spike and removes the mask? When he says, "Spike," the other people there, everyone's watching him. What are they thinking when that happens?
I wasn't sure if he said it loud enough for them to hear him say his name, but yeah, if they did, they're gonna be like, "What the going on here? How does he know Spike?"
If I was one of the Jimmies and I saw him do that, I would just immediately be like, oh my.
Spike's a legend. So who is kid?
Spike is
Yeah, I'd be like,
a
dude.
disciple, Satan.
He's the nephew of Satan.
Also, I would definitely be like, this guy is clearly Satan. He knows everything. He's
Yeah.
omnipresent.
He knows his name is Spike.
You know, in Dune 2 or whatever, whenever the guy like he says like something happens in the other dude's dream, and immediately he's like, Lisa Nagaib.
Lisa Nagaib.
That's what I'd be like, he'd
Yeah.
pull someone's mask off and say their name. I'd be like, holy shit, yeah, this guy's the devil.
And he turns the table on him quick. And Jimmy even says that. You remember the church, my only son. Then you remember Christ's gods. Only his son was first required to be crucified. I thought he was gonna say, "Leave Spike with me." That way, like
I
he
did
could save
too.
Spike. And then he's just like, "Yeah, no, we're gonna kill your ass. We're gonna crucify your ass."
I was thinking that he was gonna have Spike be a sacrifice, but a literal sacrifice, but then something was gonna change where he saves him, or Samson was
Yeah.
gonna show up and save everyone. But I thought it was great that he was like, "No, we need to kill you. Sorry."
You properly turned the tables around on me.
I love the way they killed him too, just the upside down cross.
That was sick. They crucify him upside down. We didn't talk about the train scenes. The alpha goes back to the train, sits down after he's been giving the. We also got to talk about the concoction. Like this whole time, just some meds in Dr. Kelson's cabinet could cure the virus. Like, whatever, it's fine. I'm going with it. But
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
know
hard
about
to
that.
grasp that he just gave him a couple psychosis pills and all of a sudden he's cured. Those are gonna wear off, right? That's not gonna cure
Obviously
him
not.
forever.
Yeah, like I do like
You
that
would
it was
think.
I do like that it was weeks of the morphine slowing him down or whatever. But yeah, most people that take psychiatric meds have to keep taking the
You gotta
psychiatric
keep, yeah.
meds.
So
Also, so he goes on the train and he has this moment where he's finally redeemed, basically. He's finally back. And the zombies smell it on him. They're like, well, you're not a psycho anymore. And
I
that
was
was
kind
a
of confused by
vicious
that.
fight. They bit his ass a dozen times and he just
Yeah.
steps out of the train covered in blood. I guess he's immune now. I don't know.
That's what I was wondering. And that is he like a day walker at this point where he's got like,
I mean, he still
like
has the
some blade?
virus. Like The doctor hasn't cured the virus. It seems like he's found a way to override the psychosis.
There must be something about him specifically, though, because he did father a baby that was born out of a zombie and was not infected.
That's true. Maybe there's something else there. I didn't think about
So,
that.
Yeah, he's got some powers down there.
yeah. And wait till you remember that scene of him running across the bridge to get to the colony from the first movie? He's got to
Hauling
go get his baby,
ass.
right? He's got to go get his baby. And they're going to see this dude coming
They're
across the
gonna
bridge and they're going to be like, get the damn harpoon
launch a
out.
javelin through his chest.
You know, this is kind of stupid, but you know, it'd be a funny thing to start saying because they did shrink the dong in this one. It was smaller, but that's how you should refer to it. If anyone like asks you or brings up this movie, be like, "Oh, that movie with the zombie with the really small dong," and the other people would be like, "Dude, it was huge." You'd be like, "Oh, you thought it was huge?"
It was the morphine, bro. It was the morphine dong. It shrunk him up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I'm playing it off, being like, "Oh, I thought that was rag. I thought it was size."
Before he shoots him with the dart the first, he's not charging at him, or does he start to charge at him and he hits him, and then the second time he comes back and he like lets him shoot him.
Yeah, because he knows that when he approaches him, he gets hit with the dart and then he can feel better. So
Yeah.
every time he raises the thing, he's waiting to get shot. And then he knows, okay, I'll get closer and he'll eventually shoot me.
The first
That
time
is some-
though, was he actually like attacking him like he was charging?
No,
I
I
thought the
think
first time he kind of was just like looking at him like close.
yeah, I think that this has been going on for years, right? I think that he's finally come to the point where he's like, there's something here, and
You
he's
know-
kind of asking for it.
To give the cure some credit, maybe there is steps you got to take, kind of like how if you're going to have a bone heal or something,
Yeah.
it takes a long ass time. So maybe this years of exposure to the darts is part of it. You can't just take the cure. You
So
know?
maybe I'm wrong. I was thinking that the dart started in this movie, but you guys are saying that maybe it's been happening a while.
No, because in the other movie, he's like, yeah, that's Samson. He lives around here. He's my neighbor.
We got my
It's-
crackhead neighbor. I just got to give him his fix real quick. And
Do you remember how
buzz off.
scary he was in the first movie when the Spike and the dad are hiding in the attic and Samson's just standing on the hill under that tree?
Dude, whenever I was more
Sees
scared
them
whenever
from-
he was sprinting, I was like, "Fucking hell!"
Yeah. So once they,
So that Samson's a biblical character at all.
you
Any
know
point.
that, like you know that that's
Yeah.
part of it, and there was no cutting of the hair. Maybe that's going to happen in the third movie or something, but to weaken him. But they never made any bigger overtures towards it. I thought it was interesting as Samson's psychosis is cured. He's walking up through the bone temple, and Jimmy Crystal's strung up upside down, and he's seeing the horns on Samson's head, which aren't there. I was freaked out for a second. I was like, "How did this motherfucker get horns?"
For a second,
And-
I thought he was wearing deer
Yes.
antlers,
Me too.
but yeah, then it was just Jimmy's find seeing
But at the same
seeing
time,
Satan.
At the same time, Jimmy Crystal says, "I can't hear his voice anymore. Why can't I hear it?" So both of them are having some psychosis disappear at the same time there.
That's true. I forgot he did say that he can't hear it anymore.
And
But he
Samson
does.
calls, so Voldemort's laid up against the bones. Like, where is Spike and the black girl at this point? Why did they leave Kelson while he was still alive?
I thought they were just trying to get out of there.
Like, his Spike and the black girl string up Jimmy and leave him there to die, but Kelson's still breathing. I feel like I would wait till my doctor friend died. I wouldn't just leave him there alone. As he's
Yeah,
bleeding out.
she's like, yeah, I hate, probably don't want to hear this, but that's gonna kill you. And he's just like, yeah, I know. And they're like, all right, we're just gonna go.
Yeah. They don't know that Samson is his homeboy, so they'll have to figure that out in the next movie. I don't know how Samson's gonna move forward in his life having eaten 500 people's brains or something.
Do we think that Samson will be in the next movie?
Why
I would
wouldn't
like
he
to
be?
think so. I don't know. I
He's
mean,
the
like,
first zombie that's been cured, and his baby's in the colony.
well, it seemed like at the end, the final scene, that was, how far away? We don't know how far away that was. It seemed like to me, it was somewhere far, far off.
Well, the
Where we
UK
Also,
is like a couple of small states in the United States. Like it can't be that far. And Cillian Murphy The last time we really saw them and the mixed lady run away, we see his baby. We didn't see the mom, did we? She might be dead.
You know what?
And
Since we're already bringing up Cillian Murphy a little bit, I guess he didn't get on that helicopter or what? Because at the end of whatever movie it was before this, we see the helicopter coming. So I wonder what happened. Because whenever they cut it, it makes it seem like he's getting rescued, but he's in the same house 28 years later.
I can't remember exactly what happened at the end of that one, so I'm not too sure.
Basically, they just see a helicopter showing up, and it implied that they're about to be saved. But
they've got Powells out there waving them around, trying to get a helicopter to pick them up.
I guess what happened was the helicopter was like, nope.
How
Kept
old
going.
was
Looking it up.
his daughter at that point?
I don't think she was born.
She wasn't
Yeah, so
even born.
he's dude. What are these bastards? I guess they don't have condoms though. That's pretty selfish to start bringing kids into this world in the middle of something like that. I mean, Samson, it makes sense. He doesn't really know what's going on, but
He also, there were
what do you
two
think
girls.
sex looks like from Samson's
There were
eyes?
two girls that he was with, Selena and Hannah. Obviously, he had a child with the black girl. Yeah, the film ends 28 days later, the first one, with the trio spotting a military jet overhead and rushing to
It was
spell
a
out
jet.
hello on the ground. But we know that the military quarantined the island, and they're not coming to save their own guys anymore. Maybe they just flew over the head and left them there.
So it's been 28 years since that movie. The daughter is completely irrelevant. She's not a part of that.
But Selena and Hannah must be
Middle
dead
schooler.
because we didn't see either of them in the house.
Yeah. I would
R.I.P.
assume.
Died in childbirth. Wouldn't that be some shit?
Maybe.
Also love
Maybe we'll
that
find that out.
Obviously, like, it's great that she's getting an education, but it's so funny that she's just like, "You're the one that's making the exam. Name this one." Morphine dong, 28 inches removed.
Dude, maybe that's a plot point. Maybe his dong shrinking is like, oh look, he's healing.
That's what I'm saying. It's part of the treatment.
I think we're on the same
Dude,
page.
anyone
We're
with a
both-
dong that big is going to be too aggressive. You can't have it.
Yeah, what if he gets it'd be hilarious if he got healed and we find out no, he's the same way. He's the same guy. It's the dong.
The guy that plays Samson, he talks about, he's like, "No, that's not my real dong." He's like, "No, we had to get a prosthetic. We added on a couple inches."
I remember the guy who plays Robin, like in the 1960s Batman. He was like, "Yeah, they gave me pills to make my penis smaller. So it's too big." And I was like, "Dude,
They couldn't just tape it." We get Jimmy Crystal calling out, "Father, why have you forsaken me?" as he's hung up from the cross. That's just sick. But how incredible is the house that Cillian Murphy lives in, and just the setting around it? Inside the house, super cool. Is there a more perfect place to live than where they live? Overlooking the
hill.
mountains and the water?
Yeah, it was a beautiful, like, countryside.
It was almost a little too picturesque, like a damn, when's the cleaning lady show up?
I mean, they got a lot of time to clean, I think.
Maybe that's all they do.
He's explaining World War II and how history will repeat itself if you don't learn from the past lessons. Do we have any predictions on what that means for the next movie?
You're saying it might be a callback to something that happened in 28 days later?
No, just like they're forced. Something's going to happen in the next movie where he's got to make a choice, or the daughter has to make a choice to learn from some previous lesson. You don't want to help people in zombie movies because they could be crazy and they could kill you. But he tells his daughter, of course we help him. And they go down there to rescue Spike and the black girl. But something's going to happen in the next movie. They're going to have to learn from previous history.
I didn't pick up on who it was. Was it Spike and
they're going to save Spike and
Jemima?
Jimmy Inc.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I
don't remember what part of World War II they were exactly teaching, but were they teaching about the atomic bomb? Because that would have been a cool little like meta nod.
He was talking about how the reparations from World War I basically bankruptcy caused World War II to happen.
Yeah, not helping Germany rebuild itself caused them to be pissed and try to take over the world again 20 years later.
Is it true?
So
damn.
Let's think about it for a second. Like, the initial outbreak was stopped, and I feel like they did learn their lesson. They tried to repopulate the country, and then they were like, "Oh, we fucked up. So let's just quarantine the UK forever." We know that life is normal somewhere because there are military submarines circling the island, but I don't really know what's.
I'm pretty sure life is normal everywhere except for this little place in the UK.
Well, they nuked Paris.
It's wild to think about.
I don't know.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's just like how we talk about, oh dude, Middle East is fucked up today. It's probably
if that was the case and everywhere else was fine, you would think that they would have rolled through clearing all the zombies. So I don't think that's the case.
What do you mean?
He's saying that this part that we see, this part of the UK is the only place that still has zombies.
Well, look at the map. The UK is an island, and the only evidence we have of it existing off of that island is in Paris. And supposedly they nuked Paris. So it could have gotten into Belgium or the Netherlands or Switzerland or something. But as far as we know, it never got to the US. Anyone that's not touching Europe should be fine, as far as we know. Yeah, imagine just being in the US and like Europe's a zombie wasteland. Can't go to Europe anymore.
Dude, it'd be so nonchalant. I'd be like, hey, I would send you drone footage of the alpha or something from a distance, because people would probably be cashing in on it. I'd be like, hey, you get that reel I sent you about that?
We do
that
not
zombie?
want the United Kingdom refugees. We do not want those refugees coming over here to our country.
Yeah, no, y'all are right. It was isolated just to the UK.
There would 110% be people that were like, zombie lives matter.
Dude, it's
Yeah,
great.
Zombie lives matter.
Those might be the lead in.
There might be a lot of red tape. That's why they
That
haven't
should be the name of this podcast. Zombie lives matter. Zombie dogs matter.
maybe it's like there's a lot of red tape, and even if we wanted to police and like get rid of all the zombies, it's like, oh, we have a tree with this guy, that guy's got a tree with this guy. We can't just bomb Europe because they have zombies. It's contained to an island. We'll just leave it be. Just don't go there, I guess. It's not airborne, right?
They had the soldiers in the first
not
movie
airborne.
come and just get totally mopped, but
We do get the one fighter pilot who crashes on the island in the 28 weeks later.
well, in the first 28 years later, they have a whole SWAT team pull up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Yep.
ones that sank. But to be fair, they are like
But they
submarine Navy.
They were stranded, and they're like,
people.
they're not going to come get us.
I don't know if they're like the special forces or anything.
I mean,
there's certainly
there's
there's
submachine
the
guns.
crystal band.
No,
Someone would figure out how to exploit these zombies.
See.
Imagine that cheap labor if you could figure it out.
I actually am really happy this hasn't happened. Every time a movie like this, it always ends up with the military trying to weaponize it and turn it into their own weapon. We actually haven't had that happen yet.
like in It, the TV show.
Yeah. So 28 years later, 3, which is
like
already in
Jurassic
development.
World.
See.
Yeah, because this one's technically a spin-off, right? Or is it considered a straight-up sequel?
It's a sequel. What do you mean? It's a sequel.
It feels more like a DLC than a new game.
It's literally came out. That's only because it came out so quickly. It could not be more of a sequel. What are you talking about?
I mean,
Maybe you should see the movie. Maybe you should. It was a DLC for you. You only saw 30 minutes of the movie. I think it's going to be a while before we get to talk about this again, because production potentially starting in late 2026 or 2027. So it's going to be more than a year for sure before we get to see the next one. But that's fine. I don't want this to be over. I don't want this to be over. Cool with me.
I feel like we were spoiled growing up with series like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. It's like they bump those out every year or every other year.
What are they called? Pressure Works?
SC Pressure Works.
What do they do? Pressure wash?
In Charleston, yes, sir.
Are they really good at it?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
You need them to pressure wash that driving record you got, Elliot.
Me and God, dude. Between me and God.